Hi, I'm Adam with A+ Safe and Lock, and you're watching
I changed the lock on my front door so you can't see me anymore.
Today we're going to look at a classroom door. This is a real classroom door that we took out of a classroom in a building that was being remodeled for a school. It is a fire-rated door, so it's exactly what would be found in a school, and we want to demonstrate that code-compliant door hardware is completely sufficient in an active shooter situation. There's a lot of fear that goes on, and fear-mongering really, by people that are trying to profit off of people's fear when children's lives are at stake, and they've come up with a lot of different variants of barricade devices. A barricade device is installed on the inside of a door. It's usually some sort of pin or some aftermarket device that either shoots into the frame or the footer. Sometimes you see a sleeve that is slipped over a door closer arm that prevents someone from opening the door. What I want to demonstrate today is that we can shoot code-compliant door hardware with an AR-15 and hopefully even with a 12-gauge shotgun, and the door remains secure, rendering a barricade device, any kind of auxiliary locking hardware, entirely redundant and unnecessary in an active shooter situation. Code-compliant door hardware will keep the children safe, and there are much better steps that should be taken and can be taken, and much cheaper steps that can be taken to secure the classroom and to protect the lives of the children behind the door. This is a brand new, best brand, grade 1 entry function lever that we have on this door. This is fully functional. Now this frame that we've built here, the door doesn't open and swing freely, but it latches and closes, so that's the important part of this. If you were in a school, you would obviously have a steel frame all the way around the door, usually slushed, which means it's poured with grout in the construction of the building, and then it's surrounded, of course, by concrete blocks. In this real school setting, this door is going to be even more secure than what we're able to demonstrate here out in the field. So as you can see, the keys work. The door opens, latches. See if it latches yet. We're latched, locked. The key unlatches, as well as the interior side always remains free egress. That's the important part of code compliance. So I got to lift up on this a little bit to latch because our frame sags over a little bit, but that's the nature of a 200-pound fire door. Is hard to hold up straight out in the field. So this is a fully operational grade 1 entry lever, best brand grade 1 entry lever. So this is a good name brand lock, and we want to see how it holds up when it's shot with an assault rifle, as people like to call them. Today, Darwin, my dad, is going to be doing the shooting for us because he's the scariest looking person that I know. He is going to be using this AR-15 to shoot the door hardware on this classroom door. Go ahead at your will. Okay, let's hold there a minute. See what we've hit here. Got a little glass. Looks like we're a little bit low. Let's take a few more shots. There, you put some in it. Okay, now we've got it. Yeah, we've hit that pretty good. As you can see, we have hit this lock several times. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shots at least right on this lock. We split apart the handle, blown through it in a few places. Now let's see if it's... Oh, we hit it right on this side as well. Yeah, I didn't even see that one. So we've got 5 or 6 shots in this. As you can see, this door is still secure from the outside. The lock has not come apart. It doesn't work like they show you in the movies where you shoot it and then it just opens. The door is still locked. Now I want to see Let's look at this inside, and you can see that this door was penetrated by each of these bullets, it looks like. It even came through the lock set here. The bottom through bolt on this lock was shot off. So the through bolt was shot off the bottom. There's only one bolt holding this lock on the door currently, but as you can see, this door is not opening. Now, let's see if we can open it from the inside. Can you do that for me? I want to see if this latch retracts. I think you shot right through the latch. Yeah. Okay, one of those holes is right here, shot right through the latch and the locking mechanism. This lock, in this condition, there is no free egress, which is important in most cases. When you're in a fire or something, that's the purpose of preserving free egress on a classroom door or a congregate setting, wherever it may be, in a church or a classroom. Any kind of congregate setting, you want to preserve free egress for emergency exit. But in an active shooter situation, all bets are off. This lock has been shot 5 or 6 times, and still a predator, an active shooter, would not be able to get in. Now, people can't get out either, but that problem can be solved later on in the day. The important thing right now is that nobody gets into this room, and this code-compliant entry lever set, grade 1, the kind that are supposed to be used in a classroom setting in a school, has secured this room without any auxiliary locking mechanism on the door whatsoever. There's no deadbolt. This is just a cover plate because there was an electronic lock and there was a hole above here that this was covering. There's no deadbolt. There's no auxiliary locking mechanism. There's certainly no barricade device, and there never should be a barricade device on a classroom door. And this door is secured from an active shooter. So we're going to take one more shot at this, but we're going to use a 12-gauge shotgun, which is more blunt trauma to a lock set than this rifle bullet is going to be. All right, now we're using a 12-gauge shotgun with a number 8 shot in it. We're going to give this, hopefully we're going to give a direct shot to this lever and see if we can get it to open up with a shotgun blast. And ready when you are. Well, that's a pretty direct hit. Let's see. Blew the handle off, which is not going to help anybody, because now the key and locking mechanism is gone. Now you're just left with this handle, and that's going to take longer to get open at this point. So again, this latch was destroyed, but the lever, even if we stick this back on, even if we put this on, nothing happening. This lock was not bypassed by, let's see, 6 direct hits with an AR-15 or a direct hit with a 12-gauge shotgun. This lock remains locked. Yes, it's totally destroyed. That's anticipated when you start shooting locks or anything with high-power firearms. But the door is still secured. The people inside of this room are still safe. I wanted to show you, just in case there's any doubts, now that this handle has been shot off and everything, this lock is totally destroyed. It is still locked. That lever spindle is not turning any at all. The shaft is still locked. The lock has not failed in any regard other than cosmetic damage, we'll say. Lots of studies have been done after school shootings. The top recommendations that come out of these studies are: have a curtain that can be used to cover the light in the door. The light is the window. Have a curtain on the inside that can be used to cover the window, because an active shooter is not thinking long term. They shoot what they see. That's why in recent shootings, they go past a classroom, and when they see people in there, they break the glass out and they start shooting into the room. They don't do that if they don't see anyone in the room or if the window is covered. So number 1 thing, have a curtain that can cover the window in the door. Number 2, have a corner a safe corner in the room that is out of sight of the window. So if someone goes by, it's not obvious that the room is occupied. It's usually going to be off to a side and close to the corridor wall. Those are the two top things that need to be done by recommendations of law enforcement, FBI, the people that study these things out after they've concluded and offer suggestions to prevent them from happening in the future. Door barricade devices are unnecessary. They're superfluous. As you can see, a barricade device is not needed when a code-compliant lock is destroyed. It serves no purpose because the good code-compliant lock that we've had around for 75 years does not fail. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and that is secure this door and keep unauthorized people from being able to enter it. What are the problems presented by a non-code compliant barricade device? If you have some kind of mechanism that hooks onto your handle, that grabs a hold of your closer arm, you've got some kind of pin that you're shooting into the frame or into the footer. The problem with that is there is no way to get into the room from the outside under normal circumstances. Now, what is the biggest problem in school today? It is not active shooters. The most common problem that faces children in the school today is bullying and abuse. These barricade devices are created to be able to be latched or locked by anyone. If your child is a victim of bullying and their abuser goes into the classroom with them and it is just the two of them and throws a barricade device, be it blocking the handle or using that pin into the door frame or into the footer or whatever the case may be for that barricade device, there is no way for the teacher, for the administrators, for the student resource officer or anyone to access that door from the outside and get into that classroom. And that child that is locked in that room doesn't get out until they can get away from that abuser. For that matter, most of the time, the people that end up becoming active shooters are in the classroom going through the active shooter drills. If you have a barricade device on your door and part of the instructions in your active shooter drill are go and barricade the door, the active shooter is given the information that they can enter the room prior to posing any threat or revealing their intent. They can enter a room and use the barricade device themselves, and everybody in that room is stuck with them until they decide to leave, because nobody can get into that room. These are the dangers that are posed by barricade devices. You should be more scared to have your child in a room with a barricade device on the door than of an active shooter in a room with a code-compliant piece of door hardware. Now, the other option is somebody wants to talk about a kick-in attack. On a classroom door frame, the doors always swing out into the corridor, which means that the stop of the frame, the rabbet in the stop, is on the inside of the door. So the door cannot be kicked in because there is a stop along the entire edge of the hinge side of the door as well as the top of the door in the header. So you cannot, I'm not going to kick this because I'll kick over the whole frame. You're not going to kick in a door. You can kick out a door, but you can't kick in a door. And all classroom doors swing out. So if you want to kick the door in or kick the door out, you would have to already be on the inside of the classroom. It's not feasible, it's irrelevant. You're not going to kick a door in a classroom. You're not going to get in by shooting the lock with your AR or with your shotgun or with anything else. By the time you got this door open, you'd be dead. So that's not going to happen. Barricade devices are more of a danger than active shooters in a classroom or in a school facility that is secured with code-compliant hardware. In the state of Arkansas, unfortunately, the state legislature legalized barricade devices, despite the fact that they are not compliant with any of the adopted and accepted codes, not building codes, not fire codes, not life safety codes, and certainly not disability ADA codes. They're not compliant with anything, but the Arkansas State Legislature legalized them despite the pleadings of the Arkansas State Fire Marshal. One of the most prominent state senators in Arkansas has an interest in a manufacturer that makes barricade devices, and the state Senate decided to legalize them despite all the best advice that they got. So they can be installed legally, but they are not code compliant, and they pose more of a danger to your children in a classroom than an active shooter does in the real world. If you see a barricade device on your child's classroom door, I would be speaking with my school administration and with my school board at the earliest opportunity. I hope that you've learned something from this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or contact us. Our number is 501-450-0441. Thanks for watching.
Now you got to shoot it till it falls off. You'd probably be here for a while.
I would, but I don't want to buy any more ammo.
I changed the lock on my front door so you can't see me